So it's official. iPhone ID age verification is here, and every single iPhone now in the UK is going to be having age verification be mandatory. For those of you guys who are saying, oh, it's in the UK, I don't have to worry about it. It's not in my region. Vegeta, talk to them real quick.
You are a fool!
All age verification that's been pushed recently started in the UK, and now it is all over the world. So please don't breathe a sigh of relief because it's only in the UK. It will spread to your country or state eventually. But anyways, with iOS 26.4, Apple has turned every iPhone in the UK into an identity checkpoint. Since their March 24th update, it requires all UK users to confirm they are 18 or older before accessing certain features and services on their Apple account. UK communications regulator Ofcom called it a real win for children and families. My God, I hate you guys so much. The infrastructure being built is more of a problem than that framing suggests. Apple has, without warning, placed a gatekeeper on the devices of 35 million UK users who paid good money for full-featured smartphones and now find themselves holding something closer to a supervised children's tablet. Again, if you think this won't come to your country or state, pretty much every single country and state in the world either already has age verification or they're considering it heavily. And with Apple, it's pretty interesting because Apple has given us a roller coaster of emotions in terms of the battle of age verification. So at first, about 5-ish months ago, it was announced that iPhones are going to be having ID age verification because some states in the United States either already passed laws or will be passing laws basically mandating ID age verification for app stores on Apple and Google. Now, the thing that gave everybody hope was that Apple was actually very against this. Apple was saying that there should not be ID age verification on Apple because iPhone products actually do have parental controls already implemented into the devices themselves. So why would they have ID age verification? That resulted in the Apple CEO, Tim Cook, actually going over to the United States government buildings and actually having a conference with them basically stating, why would we have ID age verification? We already have parental checks and stuff on our platforms. We already make sure the kids on our platforms are safe. Well, it looks like Tim Cook failed because Apple is going to be having to do ID age verification, especially in the UK, as well as several states in the United States because those laws actually passed here as well. So then about a month ago, it became official that a bunch of countries around the world, like the United States, Brazil, Australia, and Singapore, are going to be having ID age verification on Apple iPhones for apps that are rated above 18. So people started seeing this message all around the world, especially in the UK, saying you need to confirm that you're 18 plus to update your restrictions. And if you confirm later, you will not be able to download and purchase apps or make in-app purchases until you confirm you're 18. Yes, you read that correctly. You cannot download an app on the iPhone unless you hand over an ID or an AI facial scan. So, I figured, or at least I hoped, it was kind of wishful thinking. I figured that Apple, with their $1 trillion+ would be able to fight against this, but instead the laws got passed. Apple did nothing about it. And now we have to have ID age verification on Apple, which is very, very unfortunate. So remember, as Reclaim the Net points out, you buy an iPhone and you want to use apps on the iPhone. You paid your hard-earned money to get an iPhone or any other Apple product, and now after the fact, after you've already paid for the device and while you paid for it, there was never any indication of ID age verification. Now, if you live in the UK, you just have to hand over your personal data. Otherwise, you can't use the functionality of the thing that you paid like $1,000 for. I don't know how the UK hasn't overthrown their government yet, because it is just insane what is going on over there. And just like literally all of ID age verification throughout the last year or two, it always starts off in the UK. So I do expect this to spread all across the world. I'm sure a bunch of other countries are going to be like, well, not only did the UK pass a law talking about ID age verification on Apple, but they've actually implemented it to, once again, 35 million people that use iPhones in the UK. So right after you download that Apple update, the verification prompt appears immediately after the update install. So the Apple checks whether your account already has a credit card linked or whether the account has existed long enough to establish you as an adult. Obviously, they're probably going to be using AI to do that, just as YouTube does, just as Discord does. And for many existing users, the process is essentially automatic. For everyone else, the options narrow quickly: link a credit card, scan a government-issued photo ID, or accept that your account defaults to teen restrictions with Apple's web content filter and communication safety features switched on across all browsers and messaging apps and FaceTime. Monitoring communications. Yep. Being monitored. And in the UK specifically, it is suggested that you can't download any apps at all unless you go ahead and verify your age. So all of these options suck, and I wouldn't want to hand over any type of information, but out of these three options, the safest one would be to link a credit card. For people who have made any in-app purchases in Apple or iPhone or whatever, they kind of already have your credit card information, so that would be the safest one. But honestly, not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody pays for in-app purchases on an iPhone anyways, and they shouldn't be forced to just to go ahead and download some apps or use the functionality of the thing that they've already paid for. So if you decide to not go ahead and send over any sort of ID or information, the web content filter blocks websites Apple classifies as explicit, operating across Safari and third-party browsers alike. Communication safety, scan incoming and outgoing images and videos for nudity. Both activate silently for anyone who hasn't cleared the adult threshold, skip verification, or lack a credit card and a government ID, and Apple decides what you're allowed to see. Users without a credit card or government ID have no other path. Reports from the UK users confirm it. Scan the card, upload the ID, or live with restricted access. The system does not offer alternative. And Ofcom made a dumbass statement like they do. Man, you guys already know I hate Ofcom so much, where they praised the rollout, saying that it had coordinated extensively with Apple and others on age assurance under the Online Safety Act. Apple's decision that the UK will be one of the first countries in the world to receive new child safety protections on devices is a real win for children and families. No, assholes, it's a real loss for everybody, because now you guys have promoted mass surveillance and the mass collection of biometric data just so people can use basic services in your country like an iPhone. We've worked closely with Apple and other services to ensure they can be applied in a variety of contexts in order to ensure users are protected. This will build on, oh my god, man, these guys just piss me off every time they talk. And this is a part that makes me disappointed with Apple, right? And this is a part where I feel like they switched up on us, because initially it seemed like they were trying to fight against this. Notably, Apple wasn't legally required to do this. The Online Safety Act's age verification obligation apply to platforms and adult content sites, not to device operating systems or app stores. Apple chose to go further and Ofcom chose to celebrate it. And because of laws like this and the UK's Online Safety Act crap, VPN usage spiked dramatically when the Online Safety Act came into force, where tons of different VPNs, like it wasn't even just the same one, tons of different VPNs were reporting like 1,000% or 1,400% increase in just the first few days of the laws being enforced. And as Reclaim the Net reiterates what I was saying earlier, don't be happy because it's just happening in the UK and nowhere else. Especially if you live in the United States like me, be careful, because this stuff is coming over here. Utah, Texas, California are all either already passed an App Store age verification law or they are considering it heavily. So I don't care if I keep repeating myself, because I cannot stress this enough. Do not think that you are safe because there is no Apple age verification in your area yet. The keyword is yet. And so, like always with these videos, I'm always going to try to include a call of action. Basically, what you guys should do is go to badinternetbills.com. Before, I have promoted a website called NetChoice, as you guys know, because they've been fighting a lot of ID age verification laws across the United States. But again, they have been partnered with Meta, and they still are, despite the fact that Meta has been revealed to be lobbying all these ID age verification laws. And NetChoice still has not given me an answer on why they are still partnered with them. So I'm going to actually promote a different website, badinternetbills.com, where they actually have all these different types of online age verification laws that are going on right now. Specifically for this video that you guys are watching right now, the Apple age verification kind of falls under a lot of different things like Kids Online Safety Act, online ID checks, age kidding bills. So pick whichever one you want to sign a petition for over here, and it'll take you over to this menu over here. So it'll give you some more information. You can actually go ahead and give a phone number and a zip code, and you can go ahead and be provided your local lawmakers. You can give them a call directly. You can email them, tell them why you're against ID age verification, tell them why you're against the Kids Online Safety Act. And I know people are going to be downers and say, oh, this isn't going to work, or they're not going to listen to us or whatever. Yeah, that might be true. That might not be true. But again, like I say in every single video, there is no harm in trying. I personally do not want to just sit back and let the government control all of us and take all of our information. And I'm sure most of you guys don't either. So this is at least something that we can do to try to fight against this. Everybody, let's do our parts, contact our local lawmakers, make sure that everybody knows that we're against this. And this way we can actually fight for our information and freedom, because the governments around the world right now are trying to take it all away from us. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the situation in the comments. Apple ID age verification is here. Please leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more. See ya.